Aliens are coming! The true account of the 1938 War of the Worlds radio broadcast. Written and illustrated by Meghan McCarthy. Read by Mr. Campbell. And with audio from the original 1938 Mercury Theatre radio broadcast. Hey kids! Did you know that in the 1930s most Americans did not own TVs? But you know what they did have? The radio! Folks tuned in to hear music, plays, and comedy shows. But the radio was more than entertainment. It delivered the latest news from around the world. And because Americans believed what they heard, they were easily fooled by a radio play that sounded like an actual news bulletin. The reaction was astonishing. Here is that story. It was October 30th, 1938, the day before Halloween. Broadcasting on the radio that evening were Ramon Raquello and his orchestra playing a tango. Suddenly, the music stopped.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt our program of dance music to bring you a special bulletin. At 20 minutes before 8 Central Time, Professor Farrell of the Mount Jennings Observatory, Chicago, Illinois, reports observing several explosions on the planet Mars.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the latest bulletin. It is reported that at 8:50 p.m., a huge flaming object, believed to be a meteorite, fell on a farm in the neighborhood of Grover's Mill, New Jersey.
This is Carl Phillips out at the Wilmot Farm, Grover's Mill, New Jersey. Well, I hardly know where to begin, but I can see if the object itself doesn't look very much like a meteor, at least not the meteors I've seen. Just a minute, something's happening. Ladies and gentlemen, this is terrific.
He's moving! Keep back there! He's off! The top floor! Look out there! Stand back!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most terrifying thing I've ever witnessed. Wait a minute. Someone calling someone or something. The eyes, good heavens. Something wriggling out of the shadow like a gray snake. Now it's another one and another one and another one. They look like tentacles to me. But that face, ladies and gentlemen, it's indescribable. I can hardly force myself to keep looking at it. Wait a minute, something's happening. Humped shape is rising out of the pit. Lord, they're turning into flames. The whole field's caught up by the woods, the barns, the gas tanks of the automobiles spreading everywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a grave announcement to make. Those strange beings who landed in the Jersey farmlands tonight are an invading army from the planet Mars.
Bells you hear are ringing to warn the people to evacuate the city as the Martians approach. Streets are all jammed. Noise in crowds like New Year's Eve in city. The enemy is now in sight. Martian cylinders are falling all over the country. One outside of Buffalo, one in Chicago, St. Louis. Now they're lifting their metal hands. This is the end now.
Was this the end of the world? Radio listeners across the country were in a state of panic. Operators were flooded with phone calls about the broadcast. Princeton professors looked for rocks from outer space. Cars full of frantic drivers clogged the highways. One man thought he saw a Martian spaceship. Police arrived at a field in Grover's Mill, only to find an empty field. Meanwhile, the actors from the Mercury Theatre on CBS Radio continued with their radio show unaware of the terror they caused outside their door. The alien invasion was just a story. Using actors and sound effects, Orson Welles, the soon-to-be famous director and actor, had created an all-too-realistic version of the popular science fiction novel The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells.
This is Orson Welles, ladies and gentlemen. And if your doorbell rings and nobody's there, that was no Martian. It's Halloween.